Craig, I see you're alive. Welcome, everyone, to the bar. This other guy is Nick, and I am Duncan. How are you?
He's talking about the voices.
Huh? No, Craig's the AI bot from Discord that records this.
He's talking
Don't
about the voices.
don't ask me how Craig works. I couldn't even begin to tell you.
Bro has never edited in his life.
Hey, I've posted a recording to YouTube with a thumbnail.
Wow,
Nothing,
that's
nothing
kind of
else. It was
impressive.
just it was just audio. So.
That's impressive.
Yes, I'm learning
He's
at
learning.
1% a year.
He's learning.
Mhm. So it is 2024.
Wow, it is a new year.
hmm Make
I
any New
can't I
Year's
can't
res-
I can't believe I survived another year.
Don't be a Debbie Downer. You got you got a whole new year to look forward to.
Yeah.
You said that with dread. What could be so wrong?
I don't know. I'm always just there's always something.
Well, I can relate, but
I can't
you got
believe it's 22. I can't believe it's 2024 though. Like the 2010s seemed like they took longer to get
hmm
done with. Like we're almost like halfway through the decade right now.
Well, I heard it's because when you're really young as a kid, like when you're 6 years old, a year is a sixth of your life. But if you're 90, it's like almost 1% of your life. So it goes by faster. Maybe
I
there's
mean,
some merit to that.
yeah, it might be that.
hmm
I'm just getting old.
How old are you?
I'm 20.
I shouldn't be judging you for that, the way my back is.
Yeah, you literally have an old person disease.
hmm Don't worry,
Mr. Scoliosis.
don't worry, I'll be getting back surgery for that. They'll ram an iron
Okay,
rod up my spine, fix it.
okay, old man.
Guess what? Also, they said I might also be like 4 inches taller. I'm gonna be 6'4". I'm gonna be an absolute giant.
Okay, old man, whatever you say.
Mm. Yeah,
I see
so
I see you're taking the schizo pills.
no, I'm not. I wish I was, but I can't fake this.
You can't fake it. That's
It
funny.
sucks.
Nah, it's kind of funny.
Funny for you.
Funny, very funny for me. I just like
hmm
mainly just because I like to laugh at people.
Yeah, well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong
Any
with that.
reason?
I work in retail. It's what I do.
So do I. You got to keep that smile on your face for all the customers.
Yep. You're still at Menards?
hmm
Man, I thought you would have found like a real job.
First off, Menards is a real job. It is honorable hard work, I'll have you know. Second off,
You're-
I've seen horrors at that store. I had to wipe off the windowsills. Every bug that has tried to escape that store has died there. It was a nightmare. You ever seen Starship Troopers? It's like
yeah.
that. And third, I'll probably become an electrician after Menards and surgery. So
There you
I
go.
have a backup plan.
That's a real job.
hmm
It's a good
Like,
living, unlike Menards.
hey, Menards actually does pay good.
What do
It's
you get
like
paid?
18. It's like $18 an hour is standard pay. You
Jesus
get you
Christ.
get merit based pay, which is
Wait,
basically
are you part time or are you full time?
part time.
Fuck, I get
You get like,
paid 16.
is it like Costco you work at?
No, it's Cub.
Cub. All right. Well, they also pay like $2 or $3 extra on weekends, and you get merit-based pay increases, which is like a dime every single few months, and you have to take a competency test to earn the extra
A
dime
competency.
amount.
Explain this competency test to me.
All right, so you get 20 questions, and you have to fill out all the 20 questions perfectly in order to get your extra dime an hour. Some of them are brain dead simple, like What card do you use? What's the Menards credit card, which is the big card?
There's a
Others are
Menards
like,
credit card.
yeah, it's the Menards big card. Think of it like a Costco rewards card.
Oh, okay.
And however, there's also some other questions like what is the proper forklift procedure?
Oh,
And and they
that makes
don't
sense.
train and they don't train 90% of the employees to use the forklifts, me included,
That sounds about right.
to the point where if you ask the managers on that one question you got wrong, he'll literally just put in the answer on the second attempt and get you through.
That's very funny.
Hmm. Yeah. So if you,
I have no idea how to drive a forklift.
yeah, I mean, it can't be, actually, it probably is hard, but
Probably.
actually not the driving. It's the forklift itself, the raising and lowering, that's probably the part that's difficult to learn.
I mean, I imagine it's probably just like driving a car, to be honest.
Maybe.
But
Anyway,
I also can't drive, so
you can't drive?
no.
Are we talking like physically can't or you haven't learned yet?
Oh, I don't have my license. I mean, I know how to drive. I just don't have a
Hmm.
license.
It's
So
cost.
legally, I can't drive.
So how do you get to Cub?
Uber.
You might want to start driving then.
Eh, I don't know, I like Uber.
Hmm.
I also just hate driving too. I feel like I'm like minutes away from being killed on the road every time.
You know, I can relate to that, Nick. I have a solution for you. If you work
Yeah.
the Menards, sorry, that's the chair. She's not
I'm
a
not
person.
I'm not working at Menards.
Look, if you gotta go to the earliest possible day shift, that's what I do at Menards. I have to drive through the city streets at like 5:20 or 5:30 a.m. You don't have to worry about crashing into anyone. There's no one out, at least where I am.
I'm not gonna work at Menards.
You don't have to work at Menards. Just literally be like they're always looking for volunteers at those hellish hours, the way too early ones. So
Oh
if you just
yeah.
volunteer for like the 5 a.m. shift, you don't have to worry about crashing into anyone.
Uh, last night I last night I worked late. I think I was there until like 11 o'clock.
Hmm.
Because
See?
I'm technically like a customer service quote unquote manager, but it's really a misleading term, but it's kind of what I am.
Hmm. What does that entail?
Basically, I'm just in charge of the front end of the store. So I'm in charge of like the cashiers, the self checkouts, and
Hmm.
service center.
Got to keep them in shape.
Yep, I am in charge. I have been given too much authority.
Too much authority.
Yeah, I have a lot of I have authority, which if anybody knows me, I should not be given authority.
At least you're honest.
I should not have authority, but I do have authority. So,
You're in charge of a bunch of cashiers. What can you do?
basically, I just kind of up if they need help, I help them. If they need assistance, if I need to deposit money, um,
Hmm.
working at nights, I close the store up, which is a whole process.
How long does that take?
Anywhere between 30 minutes and an hour.
Hmm. Then you head home.
Then I go home, go right to bed. I only work
Hmm.
like 4 days a week, so it's not too bad.
Hmm. Sounds neat.
It's just the life.
Hmm. Though I do have a question for you. Do you
What's
have
up?
any do you have any resolutions for 2024?
I typically don't make resolutions because I never live up to them or I forget about them or just actively avoid it. Um, I mean, I'd say maybe the resolutions. There's some movies I'd like to see this year, but that's really all of that.
Hmm. Any movies you have in mind?
Well, I would like to watch. I think I finally want to see the Lord of the Rings trilogy finally sometime this year.
Oh, that's worth.
Basically just to say I watched them. That's it. Um, but there's a handful of other movies that some that I'd like to rewatch, like ones I haven't seen in like years. Like I haven't seen Matilda since I was a kid. I haven't seen Dead Poet Society since like high school.
Hmm.
Stuff like that.
You could watch The Last Airbender for the first time.
I don't want to watch the movie.
No, 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 no. I'm not saying the movie. I'm saying the show.
I've never seen the show.
It's definitely worth watching. It's kind of like Teen Titans, where they
Uh,
make you're able to watch it as a kid, but when you watch it as an adult, it still holds up.
I never watched Teen Titans either.
The Clone Wars,
I never saw the Clone Wars either.
Korra.
I never saw Korra.
What did you watch?
I watched SpongeBob, Fairly Odd Parents, Drake and Josh.
Hmm, that explains a few things.
Drake and Josh I rewatched a couple years ago and it still holds up. I love it so much.
Hmm. We'll keep that duly noted.
It's basically just like Three Stooges slapstick.
Hmm.
But
Oh,
anyway,
I
um, what'd you
my New
watch?
Year's
Or no,
oh
what's your New Year's resolution?
survive. I have to take medications to get ready for back surgery. I have to deal with crippling back pain every day. Back surgery, recovery, 2024 elections,
God,
and all
you're talking like a 50-year-old man.
my guy between 2016 and 2020, both those election cycles went pretty bananas. I think it's safe to say
I'm talking
2024.
about your back. I'm not talking about the election.
I know, and dealing with college, all while writing 200,000 words. That's what I want to do. So not die and write a bit. So
Okay. You gonna write like a book or something?
I'd like to write a book sometime. I've been just doing some looking up, and some advice I got is that you can't just woohoo your way into making a 200-page book happen. And it's not the main word goal that matters, it's your daily process. So as long as it doesn't matter if you setting a 200,000 word goal, it matters if you write 1,000 words a day or what have you. So I'm trying to perfect that daily routine, which I've been holding to mostly well.
And it also
I got
involves like writing like an actual like big story too.
Yeah, I got these like four main ones to divide the words and work between. And I'm gonna
Okay.
try and see which one is like the funnest, the easiest to write on, and try and like go ham on that.
Okay. Maybe by the end of the year we'll have a book.
Maybe.
By the way,
I just
I know a website that's for like self-publishing books where you're able to sell them on like Amazon and get your own like ISBN number. It's called lulu.com.
Lulu.com. I'll have to
Lulu.com.
check it. I'll have to check that out.
Anyway, what did you watch?
I watched a movie from the 1990s, I think,
The
called
late 90s.
called Dark City
Yep.
by some guy.
Um I think it's Alex Proyas, I think.
Alex,
He made the Crow.
Never saw that one.
That's the one where Brandon Lee got shot and killed on set, and they just continued making the movie.
Wait, do you mean Bruce Lee?
No, well, it's Bruce Lee's son.
Oh. Oh. Now I know what you're talking about.
Actually, it's a The Crow is a decent movie. It's worth watching too. But anyway, Dark City.
So, Dark City is essentially the Matrix 0.0 is the best way I describe it.
Yep.
It takes place in this nighttime city, perpetual darkness. This guy wakes up in a bathtub with a goldfish and a weird needle on the floor and amnesia. And apparently he killed someone. Honestly, my honestly, my only real complaint with this movie is the first 10 to 15 minutes of kind of scatterbrained on what's going on. But after that, you essentially learn that there's aliens in control of the city. And they're trying to understand what makes humans human. Because for some reason, they're dying. So they're just underground with their technology, messing with people's memories. And this guy has to go through, try and find out the mysteries of the city and overthrow their tyrannical rule over the city. Did I summarize it well?
Yeah, basically what the movie is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. With this movie, I was actually, as I mentioned, I was kind of shaky on the first 15 minutes because usually you want to like hammer into people's heads what a story is about
Yeah.
for the first chance you get. Like Mad Max and Star Wars are pretty good at that one. And with this movie, despite the 15 minutes, it snap when things snap into place. It gets very interesting where they're going, and I really liked how much it felt like, say, The Matrix. That whole
Yep.
big budget, kind of cool, well thought out movie.
I mean,
Though
this came out before The Matrix too.
I know, and I think they really must have been inspired by that and some animes for The Matrix.
Oh
'Cause
yeah.
I definitely see the inspiration.
Yeah, it's very noticeable.
Yeah. The one thing that did bug me about the movie was how dark it was. Not in tone, not in tone, but like in the alien areas specifically, it is so physically dark that sometimes you can kind of see out of your corner of the eye. They have some cool architecture, but you can't for the life of you make it out, actually.
Okay, but the movie's called Dark City.
I know, but if I made a movie called Dark Place and it was pitch black and the cameraman was going around and you couldn't see anything, title's accurate, but it's not going to be a good movie. I'm not asking for them to have like strobe lights everywhere in the place. I just think it should have been a bit slightly more lit up so you could see the alien architecture because it looks cool.
Yeah, it has some really great sets.
Hmm. Yeah. What are your thoughts on Dark City?
I think it's a really solid action movie. Well, action sci-fi thriller movie. I actually like it more than The Matrix. The Matrix is good, although I haven't seen it in like 5, 6 years, so it's been a while. Um, but I really like it. I think it's very underrated. Did you watch the theatrical version or the director's cut?
I watched the normal theatrical version. The director's
So
cut
did
was kind
I.
of fuzzy.
So did I. As far as I know, the only thing difference with the director's cut is it kind of does something similar to Blade Runner, where they take out there's like a narration thing in the original version, and they take it out at the end in in the director's cut.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think it's a really solid movie. I think more people should check it out because it's never on any streaming services. It's never really like talked about.
Well, actually, I found it on Amazon Plus. That's where I saw it with my mom.
Amazon
It had,
Prime.
yeah, it had both the theatrical and director's cut there, though you had to
Oh,
like buy or
okay.
rent the director's cut.
Okay. I have it on Blu-ray, so I can watch
Hmm.
it whenever I want.
How
Um,
pricey was that one? Because I saw it did terribly in the theaters.
Look it up. So in theaters, it had a budget of 27 million budget, and it made $27.2 million.
So they made like 200 grand,
Yeah.
if
So it
that.
did. So it didn't do well.
Oh, that's a
Um,
travesty.
that is awful.
I swear,
Um,
half the stuff I end up liking is like something like Moonscars or Far Cry New Dawn, where they're fantastic, but people either don't pay attention or crap on them, so they never get a sequel.
well, I'm okay with it not have. We don't need a sequel to Dark City. It's good as it is.
I'm not saying
Uh,
it needs a sequel. All I'm saying is like it's kind of depressing to see something you really like and then watch it, fall on its face.
yeah, I mean, I would also argue like going back to the Matrix, there should have only been one Matrix movie. There should not have been three others.
You mean to tell me you didn't think there should have been a battle between hundreds of Agent Smith and
No.
the John Wick actor,
Now
Keanu
that
Reeves?
now that being said, I do like the soundtrack to I think it's Revolutions, I think it is. That is a pretty good soundtrack, but
Hmm.
that's all the good thing I could say about the Matrix sequels. But yeah, so it came out in February 98 rating on IMDb. It's got a 7.6 out of 10 on IMDb. So it's people do like it. It's just not like a movie people talk about,
Hmm.
which that's fine. I mean, we've talked about some like underrated movies, and I like
Like
that.
Gattaca?
Yeah, actually, I was just looking at IMDb. I forgot about Gattaca's another one of those movies that came out
Hmm.
like around the same time, like that.
Hmm.
But yeah, what would you rate Dark City?
I would give it a 9 out of 10.
Wow, that's pretty high.
Hmm.
I would give it like a probably an 8 out of 10.
Hmm.
So I watched The Crazies, George Romero, The Crazies.
Good old George A. Romero.
Yep. Well, after Night of the Living Dead, before Dawn of the Dead. So before his peak. Um,
Hmm. Have you seen how
I
many of the, oh, just out of curiosity, how many of the Living Dead movies have you seen?
so I've seen Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, Return of the Living Dead, and I've seen Land of the Dead.
All right, so basically the same as me.
Yeah. Land of the Dead sucks.
It was okay. I'm just sick of the how they'll have some movie where, oh, this monster has killed literally everyone, but humans are somehow the monster. I'm just sick of that.
So the Crazies, it's kind of it kind of feels like a student movie, like a college movie. It's I don't remember what's it about. It's about like there's this disease where it turns you into this like violent, crazy person.
Called the
That's
Trixie virus.
the Trixie virus, and it's like an allegory for the government or something like that. I don't know.
Uh,
I'm gonna be honest. This movie was kind of boring. I was very disappointed in it.
oh, well,
Um, it has some interesting blood. It's like very red, and I kind of like that.
hmm.
But this didn't do a lot for me. I I watched it like a couple nights ago even, and I've forgot most of it.
Oh,
3 out of 10. Watch Dawn of the Dead because that is a way better movie. Do you like the Crazies? Hello?
Am I back?
There you go. Yeah, you're back. Hello?
Hello? It kicked me
Hello?
out.
It kicked you out? We're having technical issues. It keeps kicking me out. um, in the call still.
I keep getting booted on my phone from this,
Okay, you're back now.
hopefully.
I was gonna ask, what did you think of the Crazies?
Uh, I won't say the movie was amazing or perfect, but I thought it was a decent film. It was, and the basic plot summary is that this plane crashed in the town's water supply carrying what the military claimed was told was a vaccine when it was a bioweapon meant to basically crack down on other populations by making them crazy.
Oh, did we lose you again?
I'm back again.
Okay, there you go. Maybe. Maybe he's back.
Something, what's happening?
I I think it's I don't know what's going on.
All right. Anyway, it was made during the Vietnam War by George A. Romero, mostly as social
Yep.
commentary on that. And
Usually all of his movies have like a big like social commentary.
yeah, though the thing I kind of like about them is it's the kind of social commentary where the creator will be like, it's Day of the Living Dawn of the Living Dead. It's obviously about how consumers are just mindless zombies. But if you don't know that, you can just watch it and enjoy the movie.
Yeah.
I like George A. Romero's like when he puts his opinions in his movies because they're not obnoxious. Like virtually any of his movies you can watch, and except for like Land of the Dead, they're
Yeah.
all perfectly fine movies without the messaging.
Land of the Dead's pretty on the nose.
Yeah. Rich people bad because they keep everyone safe from the zombie. It's like that kind of criticism.
Oh, did we lose you again? Oh boy. Yeah, Crazies. It's fine. It's kind of a whatever movie. Check it out if you want. It's on Tubi. It's also on YouTube for free.
It kicked me
Um,
out 3 times in a row. I think there's something wrong with this.
it might be your Wi-Fi. Boy. First episode of the new year, and we're having technical issues. Crazy. Okay, so Discord is apparently crashing on his phone. Yeah, he's so I record on my computer. He does it on his phone, so he's gonna update it. So yeah, I guess I'll just talk for a little bit. I watched some other stuff throughout the year. Um, what have I seen recently? I don't even. I had nothing to talk about. It's January 2nd right now, 12:30. Um, it's the second day of the year. Just just another year. We're continuing to survive, which is crazy to be honest. Um, what else did I talk about? Yeah, Dark City's a really good movie. Um, so last year I started collecting Blu-rays, and I knew that Dark City was had to be one of them that I got. It's just it's really good. It needs more people need to see it. It needs
Are
to be
you there?
checked out. I am here.
Hold on.
Are you there?
Yes, it's just incredibly quiet right now.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to remove earbuds.
Oh boy. Don't you love Discord?
What?
Don't you love Discord? Discord is great.
All right, my earbuds are on, but it's not coming through.
You can't hear anything.
Try again.
Okay. Volume up.
Isn't this working?
Volume up. Oh, anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, collect physical media.
What?
What?
I'm
Can you
sorry,
hear
I can
now?
barely hear you. The update must have done something to the audio.
Like it got rid of it, or did what?
Oh,
Hello?
all right, I finally fixed it.
There you go.
All right, hopefully now it won't crash. Apologies for the technical difficulties. Where was?
I, I don't know what happened.
All right, I'm hoping the update fixed it because sometimes I've found apps if you don't update them in a while will have suddenly start entering crashing territory. So
Yeah.
hmm. Anyway,
By the way, I was just
what's up?
reading that Dark City, they're making a series based off of it.
What are they going to do with the series for it?
I have no idea. It came from the director. The director talked
All
about it
right,
at some Q&A a couple of years ago.
all right, that's slightly hopeful.
That's interesting. There's also a short film called Mask of the Evil Apparition that is set in the Dark City universe.
Well, that's one heck of a name.
Mask of the Evil Apparition.
Yeah, one
What
of
is
these names is a bit more loquacious than the other.
I don't even know what loquacious means. Anyway,
Overly loquacious means overly, it's not talkative. You use way too many big words when you're talking
too
unnecessarily.
many fancy words.
Yes.
All right. What should we talk about?
All right. So it took us only half an hour to get past the introduction, which is a wonderful sign.
We're off to a
Now
great
checking,
start.
now checking the topics list. Oh wow, my battery's getting burned through.
Might be a short episode.
Don't worry, we'll bash our skulls through this wall. All right.
So I
I
have one
have
little
the
I have one little topic to bring up.
Mhm.
Mickey Mouse is down in the public domain.
Oh, the original one.
The original Mickey Mouse, Steamboat Willie, the first three shorts I think are in the
Mhm.
public domain.
Now, if we wait another 300 years, we might get, Disney from the 1960s into public domain.
I'm really surprised they really let it go into the public domain.
Hmm. Well, I'm kind of split because Disney, on one hand, uh, they've not gotten any less 3D on this.
I actually think the reason it was able to go into public domain is politics, and to just
Probably.
put it as simply as possible, Disney in like the 80s when they screwed with it originally was just America's darling. We're making all these Disney princess movies. Everyone likes us. We're good old Americans. And they were
Yeah.
able to bribe both sides. Right now, Disney's picked their own one side, which say what you want about that. I'm not going to delve into that in depth. But quite simply, they've angered half the aisle bare minimum, which makes it incredibly difficult to pass that through Congress. Because unlike the previous time, this time, if they try and mess with copyright, it's going to be like an issue on every major talk show or political news channel. So,
Yeah. And
no, that
besides,
doesn't mean,
there's no reason to mess with the copyright any more than what it is.
no good reason, Nick.
There's no good reason.
Don't give them any more credit than they have earned for themselves. So,
have you have you actually ever seen Steamboat Willie?
yes.
Kind of boring. Kind of sucks.
Well, yes, but it's like comparing a musket to like a Gatling gun. One may be less efficient, but it's a piece of history. That doesn't mean it doesn't have value.
Yes. Anyway,
All right.
I've heard a
So,
lot of people talk. I've heard a lot of people talk good things about Godzilla minus one.
yes, despite the fact the movie's in Japanese with English subtitles,
Nothing wrong with
which
that.
I thought, I'm not saying it's wrong since I watch a lot of shows like that. I just am surprised it's doing well when people like me are in the minority on that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's a
Uh,
good movie.
I heard it's a pretty good movie. Like, not to mention, it was made on a shoestring budget. It's like in the $20 million range.
Pretty good.
And compare that to the episodes of, say, She-Hulk, which were $25 million each. And it really makes you wonder what Disney's doing with their animation team, Marvel's doing with their animation team.
Not paying them enough.
Oh, it's not the pay that's the issue, Nick. It's the
And
workload.
quality.
Well, the reason the quality is going down is if you look into this, the animation studios in Hollywood has not been dramatically increasing, but ever since streaming started to pick up, all of a sudden they need more, quadruple the content for all their streaming sites, like all their superhero shows or the Star Wars anime stuff. So the exact same group of studios is being labeled dumped with 4 to 5 times the workload. So when you look at why the animation's getting so bad, it's the same people. They're just being burned out relentlessly because these people are want to crank out as much content as they can.
Yeah, it's we maybe there needs to be like some animators that need to go on strike or something.
I mean, maybe, but
I
the
mean,
way
I don't know if
Marvel
they're.
and
Well, I guess I don't. Well, I guess I don't know if they're union or not.
I mean the way Disney and Marvel are right now, if they ever do go on strike, like those two companies are going to be frozen for a while.
Yeah.
Oh no, they went on strike. We won't get Frozen 4. How will we live?
How I cannot believe we're getting another Frozen. That's ridiculous.
Wait, they're making a Frozen 3?
Yeah, you didn't
I
hear about that?
financially I financially understand this, but creatively, come on.
You didn't hear about that?
Nope.
Wow, that's crazy.
I mean, if they have to make another,
They're also making a Toy Story 5 too.
oh yay!
Another
The
one.
movie series, the movie series that ended decisively with the third installment.
And then they made that fourth one that sucks.
I've never seen it, so I'm gonna take your word on it. But
It absolutely sucks. Don't watch it.
Yeah, it's just the thing is with these new movies is you have to have a story that justifies its own existence. That's
Yeah.
not that difficult for original movies that are good, like Toy Stories 1 through 3. But a lot of these new ones where you have to try and justify it, like the Lightyear, Toy Story 5, Frozen 3 might do well, but
I never saw Lightyear, so I have no idea how that went.
Uh, I didn't see it either, but from what the clips I did see it, it was not anything stellar.
I can't imagine it being all that great.
It also has that weird Disney Pixar animation, which tries to be as realistic as possible, despite having the cartoon proportions,
Oh.
which I really don't like that art style. It's like the main guy, and I don't know, I don't think you ever watched the movie Soul.
Oh, I
But it's
have
like the
seen
main,
Soul. Yeah, I've seen that.
I haven't seen that movie, but it's like the main guy's head there kind of looks like an eggplant, like that
Yeah.
kind of animation.
Doesn't look right.
Yeah. I mean, if they have to make another one of those Disney princess movies, they could. Do you remember Tangled?
No, I never saw it.
Oh, well, they made a TV show for it on like Disney Kids. And I saw
I
like this one, I ended up seeing this one song from the show on like YouTube, and that show is actually like high quality. That could be a good movie, but these are the same people making the live action Moana. You know? Did you die from the revelation of live action Moana? You there? I think we're having technical issues again.
okay.
All right. Wait, have you heard they're making the live action Moana?
I didn't.
Oh yeah.
Actually, no, no,
Have
no, no,
you,
no. I have, because wasn't The Rock going to be a part of it?
yeah, The Rock, who voice acted Maui, is now just going to be playing the live action Maui.
Yeah, I heard about that. Never mind.
Just when you thought Frozen 3 was an unjustified sequel.
Well, they're going to. Well, actually, they had said Frozen 3 and Frozen 4.
We'll see how long that plan lasts. Because the way Disney finances are, I really doubt a lot of these movie plans, like for Marvel, are going to ever come and see the light of day.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on with them right now.
Well, with Disney recently, uh, I know they basically got into even worse territory. Florida carried out an audit on the Disneyland, and they found out some rather hilarious things. Basically, Disneyland was acting like a financial parasite on the state, it turns out, because basically they had an oversight board to make sure they were following the regulations and financial stipulations of their deal with Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out that they were bribing the board of the oversight board with basically life passes to certain rides in Disneyland, or free tickets and all these other benefits which would be considered bribery
Man,
legally
I
under
love
any.
bribery.
Well, that alone would be bad. But what really is getting Florida in like an uproar is the fact Disney had the titanium balls to charge the state of Florida for these bribes through their treasury. So they were handing out these bribes, these free tickets to the oversight board employees, and then they were using the agreement to charge the state of Florida's treasury with the expense that would normally come from those tickets. They were
That's
charging the state for their own bribes.
that's terrible.
Yeah. So now Disney's
I mean,
in
it is.
very.
I mean, it is kind of funny though. It's a little funny,
It
but
is funny, but at the same time, if I was like some district attorney in Florida, I would be red hot mad right now.
Like that is
Wait,
terrible.
you people were doing what? And also, they were given the rights to build a nuclear power plant in the Reedy Creek Development District, where the park is. And
Oh,
apparently, yeah, which I already think is an idiotic decision to let a company do that with no oversight. But when they tried to inspect the nuclear power plant they were claiming to build and taking state subsidy money for, they didn't let the people in that they're legally required to, which either means they're not following safety procedures or they're taking the money and not building it.
God.
I'm just imagining the new Disneyland fireworks show. The last event, see this rocket go up into the air, and you're all blind.
And they all die.
It's a mushroom.
That'd be really funny.
Yeah, I don't know. Just giving a company its own nuclear reactor with no oversight just sounds dystopian to me. Like,
Yeah,
you
that is
people,
dystopian.
none of you people pay attention to Fukushima or any of that stuff.
Guess not.
Nope. I have to,
Hey,
though it would make the most hilarious Disney movie ever made. Mickey Mouse blows up the state of Florida.
Disney needs to make their own Oppenheimer.
Oh, God. Unironically. Well, Gorsh, now I am death, the destroyer of worlds.
So what's this Disney Wish thing?
Oh, that was the movie Disney put out to celebrate their 100th anniversary of being a company. And
Wasn't that Once Upon a Studio that they made?
no, that was the short special. This is the
Oh,
movie
okay.
they're coming in their advertising.
I didn't realize there was more to this.
Yeah.
Oh
And
boy.
it's literally people were, it got to the point where people were claiming that the villain's song in the movie was so bad they thought it was made by ChatGPT. Like a third of, I'm dead serious, a third of the people who have seen this movie believe that an AI wrote the main villain's song. And listening to it, I don't blame them.
That's great. I love that.
Like there's a line in the song, the main line is, I let you live here for free and I don't even charge you rent. That's from the main villain. I let you live here for free and I don't even charge you rent. That means the same thing.
Oh, that's amazing.
Can you imagine being the guy who wrote that song and
God,
being
he
so
got
bad that
such
you,
a big check for that. I just know it.
yeah. Yeah, and
I'm
the
gonna, I'm gonna,
animation.
I'm gonna start writing lines like that. That's amazing.
Oh, God.
That's too good. Oh,
Yeah, and yeah, the movie was just not anything to write home about at all.
I can't
And the
imagine it
main,
being.
yeah, I haven't seen it, full transparency, but the
Yeah, I
moral
have I have
conflict,
zero plans of ever seeing it.
the only thing I wanted to like talk about was the fact the moral conflict in the movie is completely screwed up. Because essentially there's this kingdom. The king grants can grant wishes, and he essentially everyone gives him their wish. He says he grants them all, but the main character finds out when she talks to him that he only grants certain wishes, and he's the villain because of that. Now, well, keep in mind, Nick, some people wish to murder their neighbor. Some people wish their business rival would become homeless. Some people just want random stuff that has no benefit to the kingdom. And the movie says him choosing not to grant every single person's wish is a benefit. And
We
since they can't,
All right. Mean Girls. They're making a remake to Mean Girls.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes. I was forced at gunpoint by my sister Lauren to watch Mean Girls. So
I've seen I saw the first one a long time ago.
the
You
second
know,
one?
not the second one, the first one.
Huh.
I don't. I think Clueless is a better movie, to be honest.
Never seen it.
It, it's an all right.
It was
It's all right.
I mean, there definitely was an kind of like a live action Disney Channel era for their movies. And I just
Yeah.
kind of missed that. So,
Well, I don't think you were the right demographic for it.
well, I think it's because I was watching The Last Airbender and Teen Titans instead, to be honest.
Probably.
Yeah. Well, anyway, what point were we on?
I don't remember. I've just been kind of jumping around.
Hmm. So,
I saw the trailer for the Garfield movie.
yes.
It
Now,
is
I
it
just
is
want
not a
to,
movie I will ever watch.
but do you know the deep Garfield lore?
No, I don't. But I'm assuming you do.
All right. Have you seen the Garfield TV show?
The only Garfield thing I've ever consumed in my life is the Bill Murray movie.
What?
That I've only ever seen the first live action movie. That's it.
All right. No wonder you're so dispassionate about this.
I just do not care about Garfield.
Yeah, yeah, I was as a kid that they had like a bunch of those comics at our library, the Garfield ones, the really
Oh
thick
yeah,
comic books. So I'd just take like five of those and I just read through them.
fair.
Yeah. And they also had like a weirdly animated 3D animated show on Cartoon Network that ran for years and had a crazy amount of seasons and episodes. Those are the main ways I'm connected to the Garfield franchise. But
Connected to.
oh yes, I am the secret character of
Imagine being like
it.
connected to this series.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the animation on the new one, for once, doesn't look horrendous, which with a lot of new movies nowadays is actually a very high bar to clear.
It looks just like an average 3D CGI movie.
I just hope they do it well, since this era of 3D animated movies has not been impressive to me, especially considering how good it was at like the late 2010s when both DreamWorks and Pixar were at their height.
Right.
That was a golden age for 3D animated movies. Now, not so much.
We're kind of in that ugly era right now.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think DreamWorks, if they can get back on their feet, which they already kind of have been doing with the new Puss in Boots movie,
And
I think they can actually.
aren't they doing a fourth Kung Fu Panda movie too?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, which I mean, they've all been competently done. So I
Yeah,
think the main difference is DreamWorks. They're willing to, unlike Disney, which doesn't try any new ideas except for the ones that never make any money. DreamWorks is
yeah,
actually willing to try the new ideas, even to their detriment, admittedly, sometimes.
yeah.
Like that Teenage Kraken, whatever it was it didn't win them any favors financially.
I have no idea what that is.
Basically, they were when when Disney announced they were making that live action remake of The Little Mermaid. DreamWorks kind of scrambled to make a life movie called My Life as a Teenage Kraken or something like that, essentially making fun of Disney's Ariel. And while the spirit was much appreciated, it did not financially make massive returns to the company. So mainly because it had I think because it had the whole Pixar or modern Pixar animation style.
Probably.
Yeah. Anyway,
Um, Wonka.
I heard Wonka came out. Is that true?
I've. It might have. It might have been just a rumor that it came out.
Well, I saw a film review of Wonka out. So
I will refuse to watch any new Wonka movie. The only good one is the Gene Wilder one.
the only good one was the second one they made, the more modern one.
The people that like the Johnny Depp movie should be in prison, and I stand by
I
that
should not
fact.
be in prison. I am
Everyone,
right.
everybody who likes that Johnny Depp movie is they've committed a crime and they belong in prison.
Look, Nick, you've seen the meme where it's like they hated Jesus for he said the truth. That's me right
I
now. Yeah.
it is such a bad movie.
No, I just
It
think
is
you're jealous.
it is factually a bad movie, and everyone who likes it is like a criminal.
It is factually a masterpiece.
It is
It
not. It is
expands
awful.
it expands the deep lore of the Oompa Loompas
I
beyond
don't
anything the
I
first film
don't need to
tried to
know
do.
but here's the thing, I don't need to know the lore of the characters. Like the way that it's presented in the original movie is perfectly fine. Like there's nothing wrong with it.
But I do need to know the lore.
I don't. We do not need to know the lore of every character in every movie that's ever been made.
Then how do you pay attention?
But like they don't there doesn't need to be these like exposition filled movies that's just like world building. Like just present it as it is.
I'm sorry, but I just don't know how I'll be able to watch Johnny Depp in anything if it's not as a child getting abused by Count Dooku the dentist. You know?
The only good thing Johnny Depp has ever been in is like Edward Scissorhands.
Huh.
It's a bad movie. Everyone who likes that Charlie and the Chocolate Factory belongs in prison. They're all criminals. They're almost as bad as PBS kids.
Sir, we will bring you to the light someday.
I will. I'm going on a limb. All there. You are all pedophiles.
That is an outrageous accusation.
I am gonna stand by that accusation.
How dare you, Nick? I only like 90-year-old women. I am no pedophile.
90-year-old women.
Shush.
Yeah, but yeah, that movie sucks. I have zero interest in seeing the new one. I hate Timothy Chalamet with a passion. I want to punch him in his face.
Is that the new kid they're having playing Wonka?
That's the new kid.
Hmm. Yeah, I
It's
really
the
don't
guy
think.
from Dune.
Yeah, I think he can be a decent actor, but this is like an egregious miscast right here. This is not the
Like
role for
I
him.
want to punch him in his face so bad.
Hmm. All right. Anyway, audience, aside from Nick's violent fantasies about the Wonka movie, let's see. Oh, they're making
You
another
you
Inside
all
Out.
you all you all that like the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory are sick.
We're not sick. We've seen the truth.
You're sick.
Keep it up, Pontius
Anyway.
Pilate. The world will see the truth.
Anyway. What were you gonna say?
Oh yeah, they're making another Inside Out. Thoughts?
Yeah, I heard about that. They use Crazy Train in the trailer. That's pretty wild.
Hmm. I
That's
haven't seen
actually
the
that's
trailer.
actually that's actually insane that they used an Ozzy Osbourne song in the kids movie.
Going on the crazy.
But
Actually, that's
anyway,
pretty normal to be.
it's What's in it? What is the new emotion? Well, first of all, the entire point they show in Inside Out the emotions in the parents' heads, and it's the same 5 emotions that's in the kids' head. So what are these new emotions for? This is ruining like the lore of the movie.
Oh, so now you care about the deep
If
lore.
you're gonna be consistent, at least be consistent about it.
Why be consistent about it though? Hmm?
Why? Because it ruins the first movie if it's not.
But who wants that exposition there?
Who lost it?
Who wants it?
Who
I'm
wants
using
it?
your exact points.
Yeah, exactly. I don't need the exposition. There doesn't need to be a new character when in the original movie you clearly showed that everybody has the same 5 emotions. Nothing else. By adding this new character, it ruins the first movie.
Hmm. Sad to say your whole childhood's being destroyed here.
I didn't even really care for Inside Out that much. I think I saw it once, and I thought it was fine.
Made me tear up a bit, I'll be honest.
It's a fine movie. It's better than Coco. Oh my god, that is such like a everyone was like obsessed with that movie. It's a whatever movie. It's nothing new.
Hmm. Congratulations. You're the only person I found who talks about that movie that hasn't obsessed over it. So,
Yeah, because it's another average Pixar movie.
mhm.
So Inside Out 2, what's the new emotion that's in it? I don't even remember.
I'll be honest, I have not seen the trailer or anything. I was kind of just going to let you take the floor on this.
Okay, well. um so look it up now. It's anxiety is the new character. Okay.
Oh, yay.
Well, okay. I guess I get what. Okay, so the IMDb thing. Follow Riley in her teenage years, encountering new emotions. Again, though, are these the only way they can justify it is after you're no longer a teenager. These emotions just disappear. But again, you already showed the inside the two parents' heads. They have the same 5 emotions as the kid.
Well, if the
I hate
emotions,
it. I hate it so much.
what confuses me is wouldn't anxiety just be a sub part of fear?
Yeah,
Isn't this
exactly.
already
It's a
covered?
sub emotion.
Like,
It's
do you really need another emotion like fury and annoyance when they already fall under anger?
exactly. Well, and anger. They already have anger in the movie.
Hmm. Of
Like,
course, the best character.
and then also it's like, okay, so if we're introducing anxiety, are we also like diving into like mental health? Because if we are, it's like that could be interesting, like how to portray mental health as again just the 5 characters, not introducing new characters. But I mean, if you're doing mental health, we already have sadness. Like she was basically like depressed the whole first movie.
Yeah, she was pretty emo.
I I can't also anger is not being voiced by the same character.
Who's he being voiced by?
So in the original movie he was voiced by wait, no, not anger. What is it? See what the hell's the other one? Oh, fear. Fear is not being voiced by the same character. It was in the original movie it was Bill Hader, and then in this upcoming one it's by a guy named Tony Hale.
Hmm.
That's already like stepping into a dangerous area by just changing the character
Who's
or the
Tony
voice
Hale?
actor. I don't know who he is. Let me see. He was in Arrested Development. He was on Veep. He was in Alvin the Chipmunks: The Road Trip. That's a great thing to put on
The
your
Road
resume.
Chip.
The Road
Oh,
Trip.
I've seen that. Oh, I've seen that movie. That fixes all my worries in an instant.
He was also in the live action Clifford the Red Dog movie.
That exists.
Yep, in 2021.
Hmm.
Hocus Pocus 2.
Of course, because I've heard of that before. Wink,
So,
wink.
okay. Continuing to read about this movie. Apparently, the film features Pixar Chief Creative Officer Pete Docter's 5 to 27 emotions idea from the first film that he had
What?
pitched. Okay, but again, if in the first movie the entire lore was there were she had 5 emotions and then like a bunch of like personality worlds. But it's like again, if you showed, I can't get past the fact that they showed the inside the parents' head having the same emotions. Like
Hmm.
that does not make sense.
It's almost like they didn't plan it out that well.
No, they didn't. They planned it all like terribly.
The one thing that will redeem this movie to me is you mentioned 5 to 27 emotion ideas. If they unironically try it, if they just go full out, there's 27 different emotions arguing in Riley's head all the time, and she's just going crazy as a result. That could be kind of funny, but I don't think for a second they're going to do that.
I just we don't even need a second. They had said for the longest time they weren't going to do a second Inside Out 2. Whatever.
Well, the concept of Inside Out is essentially could be done technically with any person, to be honest.
Yeah,
Which I think that could be funny if you just take some random person who exists in real life and try to do that. But
like
that's not
make it
really a
like
whole movie.
make it like an anthology movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
I
what
guess.
does Ryan Gosling think every single day?
I don't know.
Just have some random celebrity like Morgan Freeman who seems really sweet, and then just have his inside head just be nothing but the anger emotion, just like restraining itself. That could be funny. Or Kim Jong Un, you know.
Anyway,
So, what next? Making another Ghostbusters movie. Aquaman 2. Oh yeah,
uh,
E3 is dead.
E3's dead. Thank God. Like E3
Yeah, sad.
became
For
very
that.
useless the past few years.
Yeah, because of the pandemic.
Well, yeah, but even before the pandemic, it was kind of dying.
Hmm.
I mean, with like companies now, they can do their own presentation. They don't need like a convention to.
I know, but it was originally just like this event to like bring together gamers and the companies and you know
Yeah,
just put some inspiration in there. And now it's kind of just been balkanized into, oh, we're Nintendo. Here's all our trailers. Bye.
yeah.
Like it may be
But
more.
I almost do prefer that though.
I know, but it's kind of just the trend of it may be more efficient, but it's just a bit of that magic is gone, if you know what I mean.
Just we're growing up.
Well, it's just something human about wanting to have cool stuff around. I mean, we don't really need windows in buildings. We'd be fine without them, but we want
We don't
buildings.
need buildings.
No, we need buildings. I'm saying we don't need windows in buildings,
Oh.
but we put them in because they look nice.
Well,
Humans
I
have that
mean,
as a
if you didn't have a window, I think there's like some sort of psychology where if you're in a room with no windows, you probably go insane at some.
exactly. There's something in humans that just needs, you know, aesthetically pleasing stuff. Just that coolness, that inspiration that drives people forward. And then when I just see that all of this stuff kind of dissolving into the same Amazon flop, essentially, it's kind of disheartening. Like, even if
Yeah.
it's more efficient, at what cost? So the opposite is
We're going to like a downfall of the Earth.
okay. You've somehow become more pessimistic than I am at this point. Like I'm talking about.
I'm getting like depressed all of a sudden.
Oh, dang it! That wasn't my intent.
I don't know what's going on with me.
Anyway, speaking of depression, to try and distract you, I saw the Game Awards.
So I heard
That
about
was
it. I
a
didn't watch it.
that was a mistake. Don't watch them.
I
It
never
was pure torture.
planned on it.
Good. The Game Awards at this point is unironically just a bunch of narcissists who talk about themselves for half an hour. It'll be 30-second trailer of their video game, and then it'll be 5 hours of like advertisements for things you don't care about. To have a celebrity come on who pretend to play video games to just repeat the cycle.
I mean,
Like there's
it kind of feels like every award show.
like yeah, but with the Game Awards in particular, since I actually care about gaming, it was just straight up insufferable. And not to mention, it's similar to the Oscars, where they don't really vote on things anymore. They just pick 1 to 2 games to give every award to. And with this year, it was Baldur's Gate 3, and previously it was Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And the only thing I liked about it was how Starfield got completely shunted, like they deserved. Todd Howard, he deserves every kick in the ball he gets at this point.
I mean,
Though the
I've heard good things about Baldur's Gate 3 though.
Let me just put it this way, Nick. There's a reason why, at least I think there's a good reason why those people chose the game with Goblin Toe Licking to be the top game of the year. And it's the reason we don't want to get into.
Okay.
Because Baldur's Gate 3 has a lot of creepy, borderline illegal crap in there that if it
Illegal.
was in an anime, they'd be tearing to shreds. So,
That's worrying.
yeah, like if any game on that roster should have won Game of the Year, it should have been something like Liza P. But nope. Instead, it'll just be Baldur's Gate 3 and then some other game like Alan Wake 2 that no one ever plays. And every other video game.
I have played the original Alan.
I'm talking about Alan Wake 2.
Yeah, I kind of forgot they did make a second one.
Exactly. Like, granted, I don't want to be a hypocrite since obviously a lot of the stuff I like, is got shunted underground,
Niche.
and I kind of yeah, and
You like a lot of niche things.
yeah, and I think they should have like give more chances to niche stuff. But with games like Alan Wake 2, where nobody plays it, it's like at a certain point, it feels like you had a friend there who paid a lot to have it on there, you know?
Right.
And then for the cherry on top of all this disaster, they revealed the trailer for the new Amazon Fallout show.
Oh, really? I did not hear about that.
Yeah, you know about the Fallout franchise, right?
Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
Oh, yeah. So I saw the trailer and it was horrendous. And you know how they released Rings of Power and that ended up being like a $5 billion disaster for them?
Yeah.
I really hope this one is the same case because Amazon has a very particular way where they'll try to like Disney, they'll try and bastardize the series and then claim it as their own. And I really
Yeah.
don't want them to do that with Fallout because Todd Howard's already done enough damage. And I read an interview, and I'm extremely worried for this show since I read an interview written that was basically between one of the news guys and the guy writing the story for the show. And you know that caricature people will make where they're like, the person who wrote the show is only cares about politics. He doesn't care about the show at all. He's just using it to crowbar in the woke message on everything.
Yeah.
This guy is that caricature in real life. The entire time of that interview is just painful to read because the news guy is like, so what are the details behind producing the show? And he's asking these technical questions, and the guy's just responding, so yeah, we made the main character a woman because, we got to stick it up to those nasty men. I got a lot of political views I want to shove down people's throats, and they're not going to like it, but who cares? I know I'm taking their franchise and ruining it. Ha ha, so funny. Like, this is this guy unironically sounds insufferable to deal with,
Oh
like
boy.
the Umbridge lady from Potter, the Harry Potter series, if you remember.
I've never seen it.
Oh, you never seen Harry Potter?
No.
All right, there's another thing we got to fix.
I think I've read the first book back in elementary school, but that's about it.
I read the whole series twice before I
I
completed
don't. Well,
elementary
I read the
school.
first book and I thought it was boring.
How is it boring? It's Harry Potter.
I found it really. I was also a kid. Leave me be.
When I was a kid, I read it twice, so
Well, that's because you're a nerd.
yes, obviously you need to improve yourself into becoming
I'm
one.
not a nerd.
Yes, I'm saying you need to improve yourself into a nerd.
I'm good.
Hmm.
I don't need to be a
Anyway,
nerd.
Debatable. Anyway, I can only watch with absolute dread towards what they're going to do to the Fallout series, especially since the timing the show takes place insinuates that the New California Republic, one of the main factions from the game series, collapsed. This is something Todd Howard doesn't understand about Fallout. It's supposed to be about how the world recovers from the apocalypse, since with each game up till New Vegas, the world was getting built up more and more. But in the show, it is literally just a wasteland. Despite the fact in the normal lore from the games, the area the show's taking place has over 100,000 people living there. It's one of the biggest cities in post-apocalypse America. So I can't wait to see what next mess Todd Howard makes up. He's like the Kathleen Kennedy of gaming at this point, where everything he touches just explodes in the company's face, but for no reason, they'll just refuse to fire him. It doesn't
That's
matter how
classic.
many it doesn't matter how many billions they lose. They're just like, we may be on the verge of bankruptcy, but we have to keep this one idiot employed at all costs.
All right. Um, you didn't like Napoleon?
No, it is unironically one of the worst history movies ever made. You know,
And
you
Ridley
know how
Scott doesn't care.
no, you know how I mentioned in the previous episode, I was worried that they weren't going to be able to pack Napoleon's life into that short of a movie and how it wasn't going to be historically accurate.
Yeah.
This is one of the rare instances where my fears for something is like 10 times worse than anything I imagined. First off, they show off Napoleon's life when he was 24, and they have Joaquin Phoenix playing him, who is in his mid 50s at this point,
Yeah.
which goes about as well as you think. And almost every actor in it, except for the one who plays Josephine, is horrendous. And Ridley Scott, with this movie, when you read his articles, he has some massive hate going on for the great man of history theory on how history works. So this movie isn't about Napoleon. The whole movie is just to tear down and try and slander Napoleon, essentially. That's why they
Again,
make him
again,
incredibly
I want to say that I feel like you would really like Barry Lyndon.
very. Probably
That's it.
would, but
That's another like historical movie, but it's actually good.
Yeah, it's just the movie's not shot well. It suffers from the Fallout 3 problem of where 95% of the color palette is some variation of gray or dark gray
Oh
with
boy,
the occasional hint of blue.
that's
There
it's
the act
unfortunate.
and historical accuracy in the movie is non-existent. They have a scene where Napoleon has them fire a cannon on the Sphinx of Egypt, blowing off its nose and blowing up a pyramid. Napoleon was a huge fan of Egyptian history. Like he was the weeb of Egyptian history. He
The
didn't do that. It
weeb.
was some yeah, like he unironically like was writing all these propaganda letters to the Egyptian people saying how they should side with him because he is with Allah. He's going to cast out your foreign rulers and bring justice to the land. You can read that stuff. And in this
Yeah.
one, they're like, yeah, so he was like executing civilians and like blowing up monuments. And when he heard his wife like cheated on him, he left those men for dead like instantly. It's just absolute slander. That,
I mean,
that,
is the movie presented as like being like a real story?
they do the whole based off of true events kind of
Okay,
thing where they just treat it as if it is.
okay,
The, the,
then that's not good.
the writing is awful. They literally will have multiple scenes where it's like Napoleon rages at a British diplomat and he says, "You think you're so strong because you have boats." Unironically, that's the line in the movie. You think you're so great because you have boats.
That's Ridley
The
Scott's
battles are
just
his.
not a good director.
He can direct good stuff, but this ain't it. And the wars are not even accurate in the slightest. Like they say after the Battle of Borodino in the movie, which also happened in real life during the invasion of Russia, they say that they're 500 miles away from Moscow. In real life, they were 50 miles away from Moscow after the Battle of Borodino. It's just small little, you know, forgetfulness like that.
Small
That's just through the
details.
whole movie. Like the French dictator Robespierre blows his brains out when in reality he failed to shoot himself and was guillotined. It's throughout the whole movie. And at the end, they have this disgraceful part where they just have this is how many troops died in the Napoleonic Wars, obviously trying to insinuate that Napoleon was some blood hungry monster.
Okay.
When if 9 times out of 10, the guy was fighting a defensive war. This whole movie is just Ridley Scott got a few hundred million to make a hit piece on Napoleon. And
I
it's just not a good.
Man, the only thing I've seen about that movie is I remember seeing the trailer for it, and it did not look good at all.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of good reviews on YouTube that explain in greater detail why the movie is so terrible. But if I had to nitpick over everything, we'd be here till 9 p.m. and no one cares that much.
No
So,
one cares that much.
yeah.
I mean,
Do you
I
care
remember
about
I do know they played that Black Sabbath song in the trailer too.
the. Hey guys, why don't we play like a smooth jazz song over our Napoleon trailer? What could go wrong?
What can go wrong?
Yeah, and the final thing I'll say is when a bunch of people were criticizing the movie, a bunch of historians, Napoleon said, sorry, Ridley Scott said, they could F themselves. That's what he
Yeah, he did
thinks
say
about
that.
people. Yeah, so he's full on became an obnoxious twat at this point. Anyway,
Um, what else? Ghostbusters Ice Age movie.
Oh yeah, that's because they're making a new Ghostbusters movie where the main villain is like some ice ghost. Do you care at all for Ghostbusters?
I've seen the original two.
I have only seen the 2016 all-female remake of it.
Oh dear God, why?
That movie was not a shining beacon.
That is not a that's barely a movie.
Yeah, there's no masterpiece in the film.
No, it is really bad. I don't know why you would ever want to watch that.
I didn't want to. My sisters were watching it, and I had to keep an eye on them.
No, it's unfortunate.
Hmm. Well, I think. See, do you care about Aquaman 2?
Nope.
All right, I figured. Then how about the Marvels?
I know it didn't do well.
It did worse than the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Hmm.
Um,
It was a very interesting film to watch. Have you seen it?
no.
Why haven't you seen the Marvels?
Why would I
It's
ever
such
watch that?
that they reshot that movie like 3 or 4 times and stitched together the film in post-production. And let me tell you, it shows.
That can't be the
They,
first time they've done that.
no, but like with this movie in particular, it is just all over the place. Not to mention, Captain Marvel is the one character in this universe, other than like Scarlet Witch, who they refuse to hold to any moral standard. Basically, she goes to the Kree homeworld she was from in the first Marvel movie, Captain Marvel movie.
Okay.
She somehow blotted out their sun, triggering an ice age and complete ecological collapse of the planet, which caused a civil war after she overthrew the government, killing people, a lot of people in the process while doing that. So she's basically responsible for several billion deaths. And the film never acknowledges that. And that's the bare minimum. They say the Kree held a quarter of the galaxy. She blew up their government and left her niece, never talked to anyone, just left a power vacuum. So we're probably looking at a death toll in the hundreds of billions. And they're just like, look, cats. Like unironically, the before the climax of the movie, they evacuate their space station by having these cats that can eat people. So they release hundreds of cats inside the space station, and they have
Okay.
this really happy music playing while they're eating hundreds of people. And the voice in the intercom is saying, "Just please let yourself be devoured by the cats." The Florfs, they're going to transport you people. It,
I,
and then you have the climax in which after that they have the Black Lady Captain Marvel from what was WandaVision from WandaVision.
oh,
She goes over.
that like TV show one.
Yes, well, she gets trapped in another dimension where they tease the X-Men with an absolutely hideous CGI beast. The blue guy from X-Men.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had him in CGI going like, "Hey there, are you awake? This is obvious teaser bait. How you doing?" And it really puts into focus like 20 years ago, you could just paint a guy blue with hair and he could
Like
look like a
Avatar.
comic book. Well, not like Avatar. I'm talking like the X-Men movies. You ever seen any?
Nope.
All right, I'm gonna end up with like 100-page list of movies I'm gonna have to force you to watch. Anyway, they also have them. You'll actually like this part. They have a whole planet they visit, which was populated mostly by humans, but they never addressed that fact. And the whole planet only talks in song. It
Oh no.
goes into it becomes 10 straight minutes of obnoxious musical.
That sounds awful.
It is. The film is completely schizophrenic in tone because some parts they cannot decide if this movie is a comedy or the darkest Marvel movie ever made. They will go from the main villain trying to save her planet, which is 90% of the people are dead. The atmosphere is almost gone. Everyone's wearing like breathers. The sun is dying. She's trying to save them. Only
Right.
to then have like the cats eating people and the musical planet. It is, and she never wins once, the villain. She loses every time. It's like Starscream from Transformers.
Ay.
And the final thing, the only good thing I will say about the movie is the fact that the third Captain Marvel, the one Muslim kid, I think Kamala Khan might be her name, the actress for her and her family actually did a very good job. They were like the only unironically good part of the movie, since the basically she was doing a very good job acting, and her family were actually funny, unlike the cats.
Who could have
So,
seen this coming?
yes. Anyway, that's my review of the Marvels, and from now on, we will know for certain when we look back in history that the Incredible Hulk has finally been vindicated by the Marvels. Anyway,
Anyway,
for other topics, basically down to Person of the Year.
yeah, I'm not gonna go
There's
on
some
record
parts.
saying she's like a terrible person. Her
You're not
music
going to
is.
what?
I'm not gonna go on record and say her music is terrible or she's a terrible person, but it is a little bizarre the weird like obsession with her.
Well, I think she is good at her job at making music. I just think she's a very creepy person. The way how every relationship she ever has to turn into, oh, guys, I'm in a breakup. He was purely abusive. And my tens of millions of fans, I'm writing a song about him, and you're all going to trash and harass him. Like if the sexes were reversed in this situation, Tyler Swift, let's say, would be destroyed overnight if he tried to release that, you know?
Yeah.
And granted, maybe her ex-boyfriends were all, pieces of crap and deserved it. At the same time, when you talk to someone who's in that many relationships, and they could be with anyone basically, in every single relationship, it was only the other person that was the fault. It was never yourself. You kind of start to realize what the problem is, and the problem is them.
Yeah.
That, and it's kind of like Dream, the Minecraft YouTuber, where they, well, I'm just saying it's the kind of celebrity that actively tries to cultivate this creepy parasocial relationship with people they don't know. It's very like cult-like to me.
That's an interesting allegory.
Yeah, well, you know what I'm getting at. Anyway, any other topics you'd like to go over?
I don't really got any more topics.
Hmm. Yeah, I
I got an
think
idea.
as a
I
like,
got an idea. You've clearly have a bunch of movies that you that I need to see. Tell me these movies.
Mhm. All right, so we know the Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter, so that's only like 20 or so movies there.
That's like 3 for Lord of the Rings and
But,
7 for Harry Potter, I think.
all right, have you seen the Clone Wars?
No,
No, you haven't. You haven't seen Teen Titans, uh,
no.
Last Airbender, Korra, or any of that stuff. We're gonna have to fix all of that.
That's a lot.
I know, but all right, you know what?
I've never seen the original Star Wars trilogy except for the first one.
Okay, we also have to fix that.
Because the New Hope was kind of boring.
You're the same person that liked F for Fake, but A New Hope is boring.
I liked F for Fake. It was interesting.
Hmm.
I've never seen most of the Marvel movies. Not that I really care to watch any of them.
Yeah, I don't blame you for that one.
Um, also, I've never seen. I've never seen most of like the original and Disney movies. Like I've never seen Bambi. I've never seen Peter Pan or.
All right. Peter, I'm taking notes here.
You're taking notes. I've never
Yes,
seen
down
The
below.
Godfather. I've never seen. I think The Godfather is the last like big one. Yeah, I can't think of any other big ones.
All right. Bad news is quite a long list. Good news is almost all the stuff on here is some of the best television that's been put to film in the past 30 years.
Uh,
So,
I'm willing to wait until I don't watch a lot of television shows to begin with. Just
well, most of them are
watching these
movies, to be honest,
movies.
but
Yeah, I'd rather
you get
watch
my
the
meaning.
movies than the shows.
Hmm.
Now that being said, I have zero desire to see Star Wars. I have zero desire to see. I have zero desire to see Harry Potter, to be honest.
I'm sorry, Nick. This is part of your cultural education.
It's a bunch of wizard shit that I don't care about.
We're gonna have to fix this, Nick. Your literacy
Do
will
we?
improve one way or another. Yes.
Do we
Well,
have
the
to
book
fix
report and
this?
everything. You know that scene from A Clockwork Orange where they're keeping like his eyes open by force? We might
Yeah,
have to do that.
I've seen that. And one of these
All right.
days I'll watch them.
Hopefully.
There's 365 days left of the year.
Don't worry. If you start now, it won't be too painful,
Nah, it'll be painful.
but not too much.
I imagine I'll find Star. I actually, to be honest, I might find Lord of the Rings kind of boring because it's a bunch of elves and bullshit like that.
My guy, it's not my fault you have the TikTok attention span. We're gonna have to
No,
improve
I'd
this.
rather you watched Eyes Wide Shut. That's one of my all-time favorite movies. That's a 2.5 hour, pretty talky movie. I love that. I don't have
Hmm.
the TikTok mentality.
Well, I'm just saying we might have
No
to.
TikToker could get through that.
All right, granted, but we still may have to fix your attention span on some of these.
I mean, all three Lord of the Rings movies are 3 hours plus. That is ridiculous.
That is perfectly manageable.
No, that is ridiculous.
It's like reading the Bible. It's worth it all.
Well, I guess the Bible and Lord of the Rings do have something in common. They're both pieces of fiction.
No, no, which is taking the emo opinion around the shed and putting it down like Old Yeller.
I'm not emo.
Well, in this circumstance, yes.
I don't know. I don't know. Lord of the Rings could be. I think it depends on when I watch it, and depends if I'm in the right mood to watch it. 'Cause, like, I'm not watching all three of them at the same time.
What do you mean to tell me you can't stand in a chair for like 10 hours straight?
No, I need to like move around and do something.
It was just like peel you off the chair.
I need to like do something.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't blame you
Whatever.
for not wanting to see them all in one go, but you kind of have to watch them like a mini series, like 2 hours at a time.
Yeah. All right. So what are we watching for next time?
Good question. I'll be honest, I did not really sort out my movie recommendations that well.
I have some. I'll let you. I'll let you pick one this time.
Hmm. What's the Videodrome?
That is that is like one of the first analog horror kind of movies.
Hmm.
Uh, I I guess I'll just go through each of the movies. It's Such a Beautiful Day. It's what really amazing movie. It's only an hour long and it's kind of depressing and philosophical. Nashville is a 2.5 hour movie, I think it is. Jeff Goldblum's in it. It's a kind of a slice of life movie about the city of Nashville. Rosemary's Baby is about a child that's the dad is trying to abduct into like this satanic cult. It's really great. Almost Famous is a movie about this kid who tours with a rock band. It's like a journalist. And then After Hours, a movie about a guy who just wants to go home and can't.
Hmm. Because he's been trapped filming the 17th season of Ancient Aliens. I'm dead serious. At the Menards DVDs section, we have season 17 of Ancient Aliens on there.
Can't believe
Like
I still
I
need to
was
buy that.
like I took the DVD, I held it in my hands and was looking it over, like in shock. And I saw one of my managers walking by, literally giving me the side eye, like, are you bananas? And I had to tell him, don't worry, I'm not crazy. I'm just surprised it's lasted this long. So, all right. Now, probably I'll go with Videodrome.
Okay, that'll work.
All right. I'm just scrolling through Netflix, my section, to get a few ideas. Have you ever seen the movie Vice with Dick Cheney?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Oh crap.
It
That
sucks.
was hmm. Agree to disagree.
You know what?
No
Actually,
spite.
you know what? I got an idea.
Yep.
I'll watch the first Lord of the Rings movie.
Will
Was it Fellowship of the Ring?
might be.
I'll watch the first Lord of the Rings movie.
All right. You have
We'll
that.
get that started. I'll finally watch a Lord of the Rings movie.
All right. Do you have that on DVD or
I believe it's on Max.
oh HBO Max after it was gutted?
Yeah. I check.
Yeah. All right. Well then.
Yeah, it's on Max.
All right.
179 minutes. I'm not watching the extended. I'm watching the theatrical.
You have to
Because
watch the extended version.
fuck you. I'm not watching a 4 hour movie.
Only hipsters and weaklings watch the normal version.
I will watch the way it released in theaters, the way the non-existent God told us to.
The way the very existing God intended was the extended edition.
The non-existent God wanted the movie at 179 minutes.
The very existent God wanted it to be as long as humanly possible to test people to see if they were worthy for profiling purposes.
All right, Lord of the Rings, Videodrome.
All right. And if the Lord of the Rings one doesn't turn out, what is it? Oh yeah, The Great Martian War on YouTube.
Can you imagine if we come back next time and I'm just like, I hate the Lord of the Rings?
You better not.
I don't know. I might.
Hmm.
I might think it's really boring.
Okay, but if your attention span doesn't take you out on this, uh, then The Great Martian
I
War
might
on
think it's a bunch of fantasy wand building bullshit.
wand building.
Sure.
It's not my fault your taste is so blasé sometimes.
What does that
I'm the
even
one
mean?
trying to fix it. Blase, flippant, like blasé, casual, flippant.
Yeah. Now we're just making up words.
No, I'm just being overly loquacious.
Why do we keep making up words? Why do you keep gaslighting me to believing these words?
I am not gaslighting you right now.
That's somebody gaslighting would say.
Nope. So, anyway. All right. Is that it?
Yeah, I think that's about it.
All right. It was nice chatting with you. I'm going to have to meet up with Will Ferrell to shoot next horror movie.
Okay.
I'm just talking out my ass on that one, but anyway, thank you all for watching. All 3 subscribers, one of which is me. I have been Duncan Zamitsky. The Czech guy's been Nick.
Yeah.
And this is our show. This is what it is at this point.
This is what it is. It's a very dysfunctional group.
Have a happy new year, y'all. And don't let the ancient aliens suck your brains out.
So just listen to the voices in your head.
No.
Commit the
Listen to
urges.
Will Ferrell.
Act
And
on those
watch Harry
urges.
Potter. No.
Don't watch Harry Potter.
Why do I have a feeling that, against all odds, I'm not going to be the one of the 2 of us who's going to end up in the CIA black site the way we're talking?
Act on those urges. Call your local grocery store and say there's a bomb.
You know, I thought for certain I'd be the one to get like kidnapped by federal authorities for the stuff I'd say. Apparently, you're trying to outdo me. So
uh,
anyway, it was nice knowing you, Nick. Good luck at the black site. I hear Guantanamo Bay is lovely this time of year, and I wish you all a happy new year. And thank you, Craig, for finally coming to your senses. Anyway,
bye bye.
I'm done. Bye.
Bye bye.